What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Impaled Nazarene, entitled Headed Serpent. This is released on Osmose Productions. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Finland, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very fast, perverse, blasphemous style of black metal. Yeah. It's pretty safe to say that Impaled Nazarene are a very recognizable institution in Finnish black metal, and throughout the course of the last 30 plus years, this band has been incredibly consistent with their body of work, their style of music, and just overall being completely uncensored, over the top, outrageous, and just straight up nasty. From the Shemham Forash and the Oath of the Goat demos to their very, very long, illustrious run of early debut and follow-up albums like Tolkormt Nors, Ugra Karma, Suomi Finland Perkele, to later material like Latex Cult, Nihil, Absence of War Does Not Mean Peace, to what would follow up in the 2010s with albums like Road to the Octagon, and the last time we had heard something from them back in 2014 with Vigorous and Liberating Death. Just straight up unapologetic black metal in terms of lyrics, in terms of vocals, in terms of music, in terms of punk influence, in terms of black metal influence. This band knows how to do that stuff very well. I believe in 2017 was really the last time we had heard something from this band in the form of a short little EP. One new song and one Motorhead cover. Pretty much Impaled Nazarene business as usual. But now in 2021, we have their 13th full-length album entitled Headed Serpent, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the longest time gap between full-length albums. Of course, the last, like I mentioned, Vigorous and Liberating Death was the last full-length we had heard from them back in 2014, and now here we are with Headed Serpent. It's 13 tracks, and it clocks in at around 32 minutes in length, and pretty much this is, without a shadow of a doubt, some of the most fast, unrelenting, unapologetic, crazy material I've heard Impaled Nazarene do in their current era. I mean, from the opening moments of Goat of Mendes to the last closing moments of Foucault Pendulum, you can already tell that Impaled Nazarene still mean business. They're still on top of their game. They still know what they're doing, and they create one of the very best black metal records of 2021. Musically, it is just nonstop, fast assault in your face. That's what the whole MO of Impaled Nazarene has been, and that's what you get upon listening to this album. You hear it on the opening track, Goat of Mendes, and then later on with songs like Shock and Awe, The Nonconformists, Metastasizing and Changing Threat, Human Cesspool. I mean, there's just a lot of fast, blistering music to be heard throughout this album. I mean, going to the track The Nonconformists, that's where I get this band's punk influence in full-fledged operations here. I think the riffs on that song are just incredible. But then you get the more straight-up, true-to-the-root black metal sort of influence on songs like Headed Serpent and Debauchery and Decay, Apocalypse Perverter, and a fact that a good majority of these songs are very short, almost bordering on a minute and a half to almost a minute length songs. A lot of these songs are short, sweet, and to the point. They don't need to be any longer than they already are. They don't need to be shorter than they already are. Everything feels perfectly paced and just right. The riffs sound fantastic. Incredible guitar playing going on here. The bass work on here is very loud, very audible, and very rattling to accompany the guitar riffs that are played throughout this entire record. It is just so awesome. When it comes to the drumming, it is just like the riffs and bass work that's on this album. It has a very unrelenting, non-stop assault. It's very fast-paced for the majority of this album, especially for some of the super short tracks like Octagon Order and Human Cesspool, Apocalypse Perverter. Even the 2-minute long tracks fly by at such a very smooth and brisk pace. Of course, everything comes to a bit of a halt at the very last track with the folk halt Pendulum. It is the longest track on here, and I believe it's the drummer somewhat taking a break from all the crazy fast-paced drumming that you hear. But still, credit where credit is due. This drum performance is incredibly unrelenting. A lot of great blast beats, a lot of great natural drum sounds and snare tones. It just feels right. I love this drum performance a lot. And when it comes to the vocals, of course, Slutty666, Mika, or however the hell you want to address him as, the heart and soul of this band. He is the main man behind Impaled Nazarene. His vocals are sensational here. He really is spewing lots of vile, venomous vitriol at you, the listener, with every single track that's on here, whether it reverts to talking about blasphemy or misanthropy or sexual shit. This guy really does command your attention throughout the majority of this album, and he really does make you pay attention to everything that he does. He is a great, great vocalist, and all these decades later, he still commands your attention with every performance that he gives, especially on Headed Serpent. His vocals are phenomenal. So overall, like I said, I think this is the best of the current era of Impaled Nazarene. I definitely think that this band has taken every sort of influence that they have and combine it into one really awesome record. I mean, Road to the Octagon and Vigorous and Liberating Death are both solid albums in their own right, but I absolutely think this new one blows those right out of the water. Of course, you can't really compare it to the classic era of this band, like Tolkormt or Ugakarma or Suomi, Finland, Perkele. Those are all classic albums that'll just never lose a beat in the annals of time. But as far as right now is concerned, Headed Serpent is one of the best Impaled Nazarene albums to date, ever, period. One of the best 2021 albums, period. So, if I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Goat of Mendes, Shock and Awe, The Nonconformists, Debauchery and Decay, Apocalypse Perverter, Mutilation of the Nazarene Whore, and Folk halt Pendulum. Really, really awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Osmose Productions YouTube channel where you can stream this album in full, in its entirety. Hear it for yourself and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it there. You can purchase physical copies. I don't know where it is available physically in the United States, but I will leave you a link to Osmose Productions if they have any copies of this album available for purchase. So, again, the album is Headed Serpent by Impaled Nazarene. This is released on Osmose Productions. Definitely check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 9 out of 10. Definitely one of the best Impaled Nazarene albums, and definitely one of the best of 2021 for sure. So, if you've happened to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it, and how you think it compares to previous Impaled Nazarene releases. Or any of you guys into Impaled Nazarene, definitely let me know. And last but not least, let me just say that this little hiatus thing that I was taking took a lot longer than I anticipated, but I've been very busy lately, so you'll have to forgive me for the long time gap in uploading videos, but I'm going to try to at least get a couple of videos every week, or at least try to stay consistent in that sort of mindset. I'm going to be a very busy guy in my real life, but I'm going to try to devote what I can to this channel while this is still active. So be on the lookout Friday for another review. I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until next time, Army Hell out.